Hello and welcome to this special video. I'm creating this video um, because there were some misconceptions in people's minds, so I wanted to clarify some of them. Okay, first thing first, everything you do in Forms is actually connected to your Gmail account. It actually depends on what Gmail account you open. The forms will open according to that account. Okay, your Gmail account is actually connected to so many other things: Google Classroom, Google Drive, Google Forms, various other things. Okay, there are so many other things which we will be exploring in the future. Okay, so your Gmail account is very important. So if you have logged on onto a phone and you have been working on Forms, if you want the same thing on your laptop, all you need to do is go to the browser, open docs.google.forms/forms, this command, and when you try to log in with the same account that you did on phone. So what you will see in Forms now will be the same that will be on the phone, and vice versa. So that means if you've created a form on laptop and you want to see it on the phone also, so do it the same way. Both the devices should be logged on to the same Gmail account. Okay, the best way to go to the form site is actually docs.google.com/forms. So please remember this. Whether you want to do it on laptop, whether you want to do it on phone, although I give you various things like go to open your Gmail account, click on those 9 dots on the right hand side, the launcher, and go to docs and stuff like that. That is a long process. The best thing is just go to this site and that's it. You are already in Forms. Next misconception was my forms got deleted. Let me tell you, none of the forms get deleted by themselves. You don't even have to save them. You are not actually saving them. You are not actually storing them on your local drive. When you are working on Forms, the characters that you type are immediately they are actually stored on the cloud. That is, they are stored on the internet somewhere. So they are already saved. When you type something, it is saved. When you type something, it is automatically saved. So you don't need to save. So nothing is automatically deleted unless and until you want to delete it. So that should be very clear to you. So next time when you say I have lost my forms, then don't go anywhere. Just go to docs.google.com/forms and find your form. Your form will be visible somewhere. Next, not a misconception, but I want to give you something. When you're working on laptop, you don't have any connection with WhatsApp actually. So when you don't have, then there is a problem. Then you have to email me, isn't it? Okay, but if you want to use WhatsApp on your laptop, what you do is you go to a site called web.whatsapp.com. Okay, that is what I normally do. This is how it looks like on the screen. Okay, on the laptop. These are all my video chats that have happened since morning, and you can see there's a huge list of it, huge, because there were around 65 of the forms that I had to see since morning. This is where it started from, and this is where it actually ended. So many people have actually sent me. I have not read so many of them. Okay, out of 70 I have had from around 67 people. There are around 3-4 people still left who have not sent me the forms till now. And if you need to do anything here, copy a link and paste something, you just paste it into the message and send it from here. So it's easy to send, receive, do whatever. You don't have to go to your phone, you just have everything on your laptop. How it is done, let me show you how it is done. Okay, let me log out from here first. I'm going to log out from this device I've logged out from the phone. Automatically it logged out from the laptop also. On the phone you can go to settings, and in the settings there is a command, there is an option called WhatsApp web or desktop. So in that there will be a camera which you point at that the QI code over there. So the moment you do that, automatically your phone gets connected to this WhatsApp. So you're not actually logging in onto this, you're simply connecting it using your phone only. Okay, so this is about web.whatsapp.com. that is the site. Okay, one more thing, whenever you're writing a web address, please remember www. Is not important. Okay, so please remember, when I said go to these sites, I never wrote www.docs.google.com. so www is not important here. If you write, sometimes it may not work because it works with https://. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about anything behind this. Just go to docs.google.com or web.whatsapp.com. Fine. This said and done, let's go to forms. I'll quickly go to google.com/forms and I will come to this page. This page is again going to be visible to you, and you will find your form in the recent form section here, and it automatically shows you opened at 12:06 p.m, opened at 11:06 p.m, opened at 12:56 a.m, and so on and so forth. So you can see, you can find your form from here. Okay, let me just go to the first form that we had created. This form was the one that we created in the end. I had created sections also. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the video and remove all the sections first, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, I will continue now. I've removed all the sections that we had actually created in the morning today. I will teach you how to delete the sections tomorrow. If you have created a section and the section has not been created properly and you are in trouble there, then you actually create questions somewhere else, whereas the questions are already there in your on your form. Okay, I'll teach you how to remove sections tomorrow. Okay, but what we did today was how to beautify your form. How to beautify, we went into customize themes, we uploaded images from here, selected the image and inserted the image from here, we changed the theme colors from here, and we changed the font from here. Okay, that done. Next thing was preview. So preview, you can see what it will look like to the end user. Okay, to the end user my form is going to look like this. Okay, then we learned how to add questions to your form. How do you add questions? So you need to add questions after this particular title. So what you need to do is click on this title, click on this plus, automatically a question will appear below this title. So please remember, whatever block you are in, the question will be added after this block. So these are all after things. Okay, these are all after things. The section is also created after the block. So we should be very clear about this. Now when I click on the plus sign, it will add a question. See, question number 1 was here. Okay, the name question was here and the question has been created here. So what you need to do is, you create whatever question you want to create, select from here whatever type of answer you actually want. I have described to you in detail as to what kind of answer you expect it to be. If you want it to be a single text, a single definition, not too much text, normally around 255 characters, keep it short answer. If it is an essay kind of a thing, make it paragraph. If it is multiple choice, only one to be selected, multiple choice. Last is drop down, one is to be selected, You have multiple choices, but you don't have too much space, because it will be taking too much of space if you have too many options. So use drop down. And checkboxes we use when we have multiple choices and more than one of those choices are actually correct. Okay, so we have done all these. Suppose I want it to be checkbox type. Let's make it checkbox type, and you can type your first option and the second option and the third option and so on and so forth. Okay, how do you delete those options? Are by clicking on the cross on the right hand side. So you can click on the cross on the right hand side and that option will be deleted. I hope I am clear. Okay. Please remember, one mistake that many people made was left something like other. Okay, so you wrote add other. Okay, so please don't write add other. Why? Because we want them to select this only. I don't want them to have a facility of an other thing also. Okay, I don't want them to have a facility of other. I want them to choose this. Other is normally used when it is used in a survey. If you are taking a survey and in the survey you say which are the places you want to go, and the person says I want to go to this place, I want to go to this place, I want to go to this place, and also I want to go to this place which is not in your list, I want to go to these places also. So there the option other is fine, but other option is not okay when you are actually setting up a question paper. We don't have another because we have given the options to the students. These are the options and you cannot select anything apart from this. So no other, please. I don't want to see other in your question papers. Okay, and I think maybe you will be creating surveys. Next major problem. Alright, fine. Let me just delete this rubbish question that I've created. Okay, now next major problem that people had was they did not use this question in their form at all. They wrote questions, they wrote 10 questions, they created sections, they did everything, formatting, beautiful forms. But what is the problem if you don't ask this question? It is something like taking an answer paper from a student and the student has not written his name on it. If the student doesn't write his or her name on it, then you don't know who actually is the writer of this paper. Okay, so we need to ask, what is your name is the simplest question that you can ask. But name, what is your father's name, what is your mother's name is not the question that you're going to ask in a question paper. So please don't ask what is your father's name and mother's name. We are not interested in father's name, mother's names. I saw in one or two, one at least. So what is your name is the question that you need to ask. Rest what you can ask is what is your roll number, because I could have Atul Malhotras, two in Atul Malhotras in my class. Now I don't know which Atul Malhotra is this. So what do I need? I need another question. Let me add one more question and I'll explain something else to you also. So add another question and ask what is your roll number. Okay, roll number is a short answer type. Naturally, automatically it takes up short answer type, but I need this roll number to be a number because we normally use roll numbers as numeric only. We don't have ABCD or anything else in the roll numbers. So I want it to be roll number. Now the system is automatically generated because you have written number in your question. It has automatically generated a validation in your program which says number is number. Okay. Now if you want it to be number, yes, fine. Okay, but if you want a roll number to be an alphanumeric something, then you can just remove this. Okay, remove this. Now if I remove this, what is going to happen? Roll number can be written as ABCD also. Now roll number is numbers only. Sometimes I may want my answer to a question also to be written typed as a number only. For example, if I want to ask what is 2 plus 3 and I want a short answer kind question, what will I do? If I leave it like this, the user can write TWO or FIVE as the answer. I don't want that. I want a number 5, a digit 5. So what you need to do is simply validate it. For validation, now this roll number, for this roll number I can write alphabets also. No, I don't want to. So what I do is go to these 3 dots over here and say response validation. So click on response validation. It will say, okay, this is the first validation. Number is greater than so and so. I don't want greater than or less than. Okay. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll say it is number. That's it. Suppose I want to add another validation. Validation is basically checking. It will not allow an entry which is not that. Okay. So if I say response validation, if I want the number to be greater than something, I say I want the number to be greater than say 1000. So it will allow only entry which are greater than 1000. Okay. And if you want the text also to be written, just remove the validation from here. It is normal text. I can write alphabets also and I can write numbers also. I hope things are clear to you. So when you are actually creating any quiz, the first thing that you need to ask is what is your roll number. This is the first thing. Then you can ask for the name. And please remember, what is your roll number is again a required question. I cannot do without it. So it is now the star has appeared here. So it has to be entered. The rest of the questions may or may not be entered. To save time, I have actually created a form, a question here. What is the capital of Punjab and Haryana? And it is short answer type, not numbers. So no numbers. So don't validate it. So no validation. Okay. Now in this particular quiz, we have 4 kinds of questions. First one is the short answer type. Second one is multiple choice type. Third one is checkbox type, and fourth one is drop down type. Okay. Remember the quiz that I gave to you today morning at 9:30. When you answered those questions, you got the result immediately. How did you get the result immediately? Now what we do now is going to be part of what we are going to do tomorrow. Some of you may be able to understand, but you need to see now and think of what you are going to get tomorrow. Okay. Now, how did the system check whether the answer that you have given is actually correct or incorrect? So what we do is, number 1, go to settings, go to quizzes and click on make this a quiz. I'll cancel this and I'll start over again. This is a normal form. It is not going to check for the answers whether they are correct or incorrect. So what you need to do is go to settings. Settings is that round thing over there. Go to settings. There are 3 tabs: general, presentation and quizzes. Don't touch the first 2. In quizzes, click on make this a quiz. And below this, in release grade, remember when you submitted your answer, you got your grades automatically right there and then. You scored 7 on 10 or 10 on 10 or 9 on 10 or 0 and 10 or whatever it is, because this one was ticked. And what do you see after the submission? You can see the missed questions. Yes, you saw the correct answers and the point values and stuff like that. Okay, I'm not going to go to all this detail, but only this part, that immediately after each submission and make this a quiz. So make this a quiz has to be on, and now you save it. Once you save it, now your quiz has been converted in, your form has been converted into a quiz. a quiz which can be automatically corrected. That means auto marking is going to be there. You will find in each of the questions there is something new that has appeared here, which is called as an answer key. So the answer key has appeared here now. So when I'll go to the simpler answer keys first. Let's say what is the result of 2 plus 3. Now I want to tell the computer that 5 is my correct answer. How do I do that? Simply click on the question anywhere. You will find answer key. Click on answer key. Now see, the screen has changed into something. You will find that it has points on the right hand side. You can say, okay, this question is of 1 point for me and 5 is my correct answer, and done. So what do you need to do? You need to do two things. One is set your points, don't leave it at 0, and 5 is my correct answer. Simply select it. You will find a tick over there and click on done. So once you say done, now you are in the editing mode again. So you can add options and multiple other things you can do. Okay, let's come to the checkbox question. Click on the checkbox, go to answer key. For result in 17, this is the answer, this is the answer, and this is the answer. So select all the 3 answers and then give the score point, say 1, and click on done. Now please remember, how is the system going to check whether this answer is correct or not? Because okay, fine, for this thing, so I told the system that 5 is correct, and if 5 is selected, everything is fine. But what about here? If the user selects only 20 minus 3, what is the system going to do? Is it going to give marks? I'm sorry, no, it will not give partial marks at all. You have to, the student will have to select all the 3 for getting that 1 score. Okay, so even if the student leaves out 8 plus 9 and says these 2 are the correct answers, he or she will not get the score at all. So I'll say done. Fine. Which number is out of these is an odd number? Again, when you click on this, you will find an answer key. Click on the answer key. Which one is an odd number? This is the odd number. Okay, fine, I've selected. You could select more than one. Yes. So that means that the user selects this one or this one or this one, anyone will do. Okay, but I don't have. So if in case by mistake you have selected 4 as the odd number, how do you remove it? Simply click on it again. Okay, and click on done. All these are done, no problem. The last question is what is the capital? Did I give scores for this? I did not give scores. Okay, let me give it a 1 point again. Done. Okay, so this one also has 1 point, this one also has 1 point, this one has no point at all. So let's figure out how actually we are going to work with answer key for a short answer text. Now the choices are not given. The user can write anything. Now if the user can write anything, what do I do? I'll say this is my correct answer. No problem. If the user writes Chandigarh, the answer will be correct. I'll give it 1 point. What happens if the user writes Chandigarh all in small letters, or Chandigarh, suppose caps lock on hai and the user says Chandigarh everything in capital, writes everything in capital letters, will it accept? It will not accept. It will accept exactly C capital Chandigarh in small letters. So what we need to do is we need to type as answers all the choices that are possible. Okay, fine, perfect. Okay, this is done. So we have done partially. I've done it once with you, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this form as a link, as an open link on WhatsApp, and then you can use this form to answer these questions, and you will get answers automatically. You can redo the thing and figure out how things are going to happen. Please remember, when you're working on a computer, you need to perform tasks again and again and again to figure out how things are going to behave. And more you get into this, the more you keep on trying, the better it is for you. Okay. We will do more than what I have told you right now, but the crux of the matter that is going to be done tomorrow is this. There are other settings also that need to be done. We will do it tomorrow. Okay, let me explain one. See, at the top here it says all changes saved in Drive. You can see this. So when I actually type anything, it starts, see, it says saving on top. Okay, so whenever you do anything on the computer, it actually keeps on saving it. You don't need to save it. Okay, I hope I made things a little clearer today. The idea of creating a video is that you can see this video again and again and again and figure out where did I go wrong, what should I do. Okay, so tomorrow we'll be doing this, and in case you miss out anything that we will be doing in the online class, you can very well look at this video and do whatever is supposed to be done. I'll again send you an assignment tomorrow. Thank you so much. It has taken me around 25 minutes of video. Fine, good. So I would like you to see this video and enjoy it. Okay, thank you and good night. See you tomorrow.